Spring of 2025 had an amazing assortment of anime for anyone from the new watchers to longtime watchers to really enjoy. I myself couldn't help but be almost overwhelmed with the amount of good quality animations that were coming out around this time. Now, we are heading towards the end of the season and the end of all the anime releases that are coming out, but before we move on to the summer stuff, I think it's good that we look back and highlight a couple animes that really stood out, and I think that they would go for any type of recommendation, again, for people that are just starting out anime to hardened viewers who have been watching for upwards of 2 decades like myself. We have 5 animes on this list, so get ready and lock in, gamers, because we're getting right into it with the first one, and that is To Be Hero X. If you've been on social media at all, you've seen this anime, you've heard about it. It is an absolute phenomenon. Made in China, and actually an extremely well paced and well animated story from start to finish. It has been an absolute treat to be watching this week to week. It takes on a whole new perception on what a hero really is to society and what society does to the heroes themselves. We follow various different characters, various different heroes through their whole backstories of where they even get their powers, all the way to when they stand on their own 2 feet in front of even their own audience and try to proclaim who they are. The whole premise of this anime is you have the top 10 heroes, all heroes in general, but the top 10 fight every year for the title of X. And the goal is for any hero to want to really hit that high mark, because that gives you more esteem, more fame, more acclaim than any other hero in the world. And just because you are an X does not mean you can lose. We see in previous episodes that there are plenty of X's that have lost their title to other heroes that have just come up throughout the years. The really interesting thing about this plot and about To Be Hero X that I found was the dichotomy that we start to see between both the heroes and the actual people that support them in society. And that's all played out through the trust system that the anime brings to us, where based on the amount of faith, belief, trust, whatever you want to say, that an individual has and receives from other people, that helps to boost their abilities, reaching them to the level of being a hero, and also at that point creating a specific ability or power that is connected to that hero. Now, these powers do end up kind of being a double-edged sword. We have heroes like Nice, who have to suffer for the aspect of having OCD because of their powers and what people perceive of them, their level of perfection that he is required to be, to people like Moon, who is even his girlfriend, that is basically forced to change her power. Her power is forced to change by her audience to where she can only teleport to where Nice is, and that in turn made her really dislike not only being a hero, but dislike her audience too, because she did not want that to be her whole existence. It is a super unique superpower anime that takes on all new that takes on new ideas of how we perceive heroes, and it's very reminiscent of shows like Invincible and The Boys in past years, which a lot of people have absolutely loved, I myself included.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical!
The actual anime itself is still running on, and it's slotted for 26 episodes, 24 to 26 episodes, and it will still be continuing, but I think it deserves a spot on this list because of just how amazing the story really kind of puts itself together, how it really starts to pick at different people's individual circumstances in order to really tell this full idea as to what the world is about, because it's not focused on one single hero. An interesting thing that I really liked about this anime was the music. I think the music really played a part in helping to create this aspect of grandeur that really gives the heroes their individuality, but also shows that they themselves are kind of bigger than life to a degree. In the opening song, Inertia, absolutely amazing. After listening to this, opening, I did start to go into some of his other music, and I do find it to be very good, and I highly recommend you check it out yourself. The second anime we have for this list, and it's a banger, and it's actually kind of something that I was happily surprised that I enjoyed so much, and it's Lazarus. The reason why I say this is because it was actually created by Mappa, which has its own issues for one, but it was also being aired in relation to Adult Swim. And Adult Swim, they've had their issues way back not even way back, almost as recently as with the Rick and Morty anime and the Ninja Kamui. They have really kind of made a name for themselves as dropping the ball here and there. The whole plot of this anime is there was this miracle drug, this miracle pharmaceutical created by this one scientist, and the whole aspect of this drug called Hapana is meant to basically be the happy drug. You don't feel pain in the sense that you don't feel emotional pain. You can still feel physical pain, but you don't actually feel sad about things anymore. It's like the happy pill. Doctor, his name is Skinner. He ended up going and creating this whole society basically at this point that is just consumed this and has taken everyone has taken it from young to old, and it's just become a widely used thing. However, 3 years ago, he disappeared off of the face of the earth. I know, right? Very reminiscent of a certain avatar that we know of. However, this is not a happy story, and he does not return to save the world. In fact, he returns to tell the world 3 years later that the first people that have taken Hapana will die within the next 30 days. And subsequently from that point on, more and more people will start to die. Because, surprise, Hapana is actually a drug that is meant to be a poison that gestates and stays inside of your stomach for 3 years. And then after that point, it will act. That's when the second part of it is able to activate and you start to get these symptoms. It is really cool in terms of just a concept story, and they have to set up what is essentially a suicide squad, a group of criminals, couple of them criminals. I don't want to spoil everything about it, but they try to get this basically suicide squad to track him down and find out where he is, following up various leads, going to various different places in the world in order to basically find Skinner and try and get the antidote from him so they can cure the whole society, everyone. The characters in the show are absolutely amazing. I love Axel, Doug, Elena, Leland, Chris. They are all amazing characters through and through, and they all get plenty of time to shine. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say the obvious elephant in the room, and that is the clear inspiration from Cowboy Bebop. And that is because it is actually directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, who has worked on Cowboy Bebop when it was, way back in the day when it was released. And you can really feel that when you're watching it, and not only through just the actual aesthetic of the art and of the animation, but even like the choreography. It's directed by Chad I'm sorry if I butcher this name, I'm definitely going to, Stalinski, who actually worked on the John Wick movies. And if you've watched any of these John Wick movies in the past, you know that they are the golden standard for peak cinematography, peak choreography in the fight scenes. It is amazing. And the music is actually done by Kasami Washington, Bombo, and Floating Points. Those are the people that are composing the music for this anime, and absolutely love it. The little jazz flares to it where you hear the brass instruments start to play, the trumpet, the saxophone. I'm a fan of jazz music. I always have been, and this has just been all in all from beginning to end. It is so good. It is so good as a complete package, and that's why I think this one deserves to be on this list. And showing this to any first-time watcher, even a long-time watcher, they will have a good time watching it. They'll have fun with Axel and his crazy antics, and they'll cheer when Elena is hacking into servers. It is amazing. The third anime we're going to cover in this list is Rock is a Lady's Modesty. And I've absolutely been loving this anime, and not that I was expecting anything bad out of it. In fact, I thought it was going to be a very fun watch, very lively, very energetic from the very beginning, and it really has been. It's delivered on that in spades, and I absolutely love the music, the characters, and just the actual insanity of it all. The story takes place in an actual wealthy, high class private school for girls. Now, only girls are allowed at this school. They are the only ones that are there. We follow a group of them, but start off with just two, being Ota and Lily. These two, they more or less meet in unconventional ways. Lily finds Ota playing the drums, and to her surprise, she was not expecting someone of her class, of her prestige, to be playing rock music, especially to be playing as heavily as she was. Her whole goal in this anime is to achieve this title called Noble Maiden, which will allow her and her mother to live relatively comfortably in the household that they have been brought into, because she is not born into this rich class society. Neither was her mother at all. So they are new and trying to put up a front and keep on this perception of who they are. All while trying to rock out, I guess. Lily is trying to also be a rocker and creates a secret band. They start to all create music together. Lily, Ota, Tina, and Shiria. I guarantee you will have yourself up in the air for it, because the crash outs, I will say, little spoiler here, if you want anime with pure crash outs that get so real that you feel like you're in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby back in the early 2000s, then yeah, I highly recommend watching Rock is a Lady's Modesty, and you'll feel that. But one of the things I want to say about the animation is that they do mesh between CG and like a regular 2D animation style, but I think they do it to their benefit. And I know that in some cases people hear, oh, 3D, that can't be great. No, I'm telling you, you're gonna see it and you're like, I understand why it's there. It does allow for a little bit more in the actual movement and interactivity of the characters. So it is an amazing watch. I highly recommend it. The opening song is by Bandmade, and I can tell you right now, I have both the opening and the closing song on my phone. I've been listening to them nonstop. They are absolutely amazing, and for someone that grew up listening to rock, I can very much hear the inspirations for it. The fourth anime that we have on this list is Sword of the Demon Hunter Kijin Gentosho, and boy, it is an amazing watch, I will say. The first episode alone, that felt like a feature-length film. It was almost an hour, just shy of an hour long, which I have rarely seen in my days of watching anime, and I will say it was a treat. It didn't feel like it dragged on at all, and everything that was happening felt integral to the story, which it ended up being. Now, the story takes place back in Edo period Japan, where we follow Jinta, who ends up becoming a shrine guardian and fighting demons. However, that's not how it starts. We actually begin with Jinta and his sister Suzu running away from their father, because their father is actually abusive towards his little sister for her lineage of being half demon. And in order to try and find some type of safety and sanctuary, they run away and become adopted by this other gentleman who is a shrine guardian, who over time, he basically teaches Jinta how to use a sword, how to protect himself, and how to fight demons, all in order so he could then become a shrine guardian that would protect his adoptive father's daughter and carry on the lineage that way, which he does. He becomes the shrine guardian, and his sister, all the while, stays the exact same. She doesn't age at all, and she is more or less perfectly fine with it up until a certain event happens that makes her flip her switch and go full demon. She's no longer half demon, she's now full demon. and Jinta makes it his own mission to then hunt down his sister and put an end to her. Again, all this happened, everything that I'm explaining right now happens within the first episode. So it very much does feel like there is a lot packed into such a small package, and yes, it is amazing. I loved the series. It is really just a breath of fresh air. The fights aren't the main big aspect of this fight. It's no Demon Slayer, that's for sure. What is the focus is more or less the relationships that Jinta / Jinya, because he changes his name, that he starts to build and formulate throughout the years. It very much is a good story to sink your teeth into. He is a samurai that picks up missions to hunt down demons, hopefully getting closer to his sister and getting strong enough to fight his sister along the way. The whole thing, we have not actually gotten to the end of it as of the recording of this video, but so again, I highly recommend this anime, and it is an absolute beautiful, it is absolute masterwork, the first episode. What a great way to kick off the season, and it is being made by High Dive, who have created various good animes in recent years. So Kaiju no Gento Show was definitely something I was very pleasantly surprised with when I started watching it. Now, the next anime that we're actually getting into here, that it isn't like the last ones, basically, where it's brand new seasons. This is actually season 2, Windbreaker, and oh my god, I've absolutely loved season 2. Season 2 of Windbreaker has been a beautiful montage of absolute chaos. Best way to say it. We have our boy Sakura, who is back once again with his friends Suo, Nire, Tsugishita, and various others. As they start off, this anime starts off hot and heavy, just like Kaiju Gento Show, where they're going right into battle. They're going right into a brawl, and the first episode starts and ends with them fighting. Absolutely amazing. And it continues on from where we left off in the last season, and it continues to build upon the world, build upon the organization that we know as Bofurin, and you get to meet new antagonists, new groups, and stuff like that for them to come up against. I have absolutely been stunned by how amazing the fights look, guys. Like these fights, the hand-to-hand combat in these brawls, these street fights are absolutely amazing. I think back to like the Obito and Kakashi fight, and just having my mouth open the entire time I'm watching that fight. It is at that exact same level. These are some of the best fights I've seen in a while in terms of how clean and how well the choreography looks. But Windbreaker, the actual 1-to-1 where you get down and dirty, like we see the up close and personal of a 1v1 fight, is amazing. Absolutely marvelous. It's animated by Cloverworks. They did the first season, and they are still doing an amazing job with it, I will say. I cannot tell you how... I cannot glaze this anime enough. I'm sorry. Any of these animes. I cannot glaze them enough for just how amazing the adaptation is coming along. This anime absolutely is a top tier recommendation. It hits all the time with not only the amazing action, but the friendships, the emotions, the other relationships that get built out outside of just even the sheer brutality of it all is amazing. I absolutely love it. Phenomenal. Now this last one is more like an honorable mention for it. And before we close this list off, I know I said I'd only have 5, but I'll give you guys one more little tidbit of information for an amazing anime that is just phenomenal. My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, My Hero Academia series? Oh no, what is this guy, a freak? Yes, I am. But On top of that, we are talking about a phenomenal another superhero style anime that's a little different than To Be Hero X, especially in like the themes that they're tackling. However, I think that it is a very fun watch. It is very unique, and there are times when I truly like the animation and the style for Vigilantes more than I like what's going on with with the regular My Hero Academia. And the thing about it is, you don't have to watch My Hero Academia to really know what's happening in Vigilantes. They are two separate stories. Now, do some of the characters jump from one story to the next? Yes. But that's fine because it's not like Midoriya is out there working with Koichi to help save the world, okay? Koichi is not going to show up and to fight against Shigaraki. The whole premise of this story is we follow this mundane kid. His name is Koichi. He's a college student who basically lives in an abandoned building in a little like tool shed apartment above that building. He has a regular job as a convenience store worker, but he also has a second quote unquote job as a vigilante. He is being a hero without actually being licensed as a hero, which technically and is actually illegal. But rather than let it go to waste and just walk past something, he's the type of person that has to jump in and help. Absolutely love the series. I thought it was a phenomenal watch. The characters, the comedy, it's hilarious. They really take on like a lot of the comic book aspects of it, not only just in the art style, but in the personalities and the way they interact with each other. It is very gaggy as a comic, as like almost like comic book characters are. So I thought it was a very beautiful, very amazing anime. And that's the last one that I wanted to add onto this list as an honorable mention. Definitely go check it out. So that's going to do it for this list. Again, we have for our 5 animes that I would recommend, I would say To Be Hero X, Lazarus, Rock is a Lady's Modesty, Kijin Gento Show, Windbreaker Season 2. Yes, along with your honorable mentions, I think these animes truly do make up a phenomenal set list for what was released this season. Now, this is also not everything. This is my personal opinion, of course. There could be other people that think completely different or have different lists. Let me know what your lists are down below. If there's any anime that you would add into here or that you would swap out in exchange for the other ones. I would love to hear about it, and there's always more to watch. I myself am constantly looking for new animes to watch, and I hope this video helps you find some of them. Which of these gems did you really enjoy? Which one would you want to change? Is there one that you plan on binging tonight? Either way, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and yeah, give me those anime recs. Hey, what is up? You are an absolute legend if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it, and if you could just do me one more quick favor, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. I stream on Twitch Wednesdays to Saturdays, starting around 12 p.m. EST. And yeah, there's plenty of crazy unhinged madness that goes on over there too. So I hope to see you there, and I'll catch you in the next video.